Across Wisconsin, over 3,000 small dams impound our state's rivers and streams. Since the 1990s, almost 200 dams have been removed, and many streams now run free and colder because of the removals. In these stories, we'll visit 3 Wisconsin communities where dams have been removed in recent years, as told by the people involved in those removals. In Baraboo, 4 dams, all over a century old, were removed over a 30-year period from 1972 to 2001. The community has turned toward the Baraboo River for paddling and fishing recreation. It's built a 7-mile-long riverside walking trail, and it's honored its history and built businesses that focus on the river. The town of Baraboo is located near the Wisconsin Dells. The town has a population of about 13,000 people and is home to the Circus World Museum. The area around Baraboo was first settled by Abe Wood in 1838 and was originally known as the Village of Adams. In 1852, the village was renamed Baraboo after the nearby river. It was incorporated as a city in 1882. The Baraboo River flows 120 miles from its headwaters in Kendall, passing through Elroy, Union Center, Laval, Reedsburg, Rock Springs, North Freedom, and Baraboo on its way to the Wisconsin River. It drops 150 feet along the way, with 50 feet of that drop within the town of Baraboo itself. Over the course of Baraboo's history, as many as 11 dams were built along the river. Early dams were often built of large timbers, boulders, and earth. The dams along the Baraboo River were all low-head, run-of-river dams. Low-head means they were generally less than 15 feet tall, and run-of-the-river means that minimal impoundments were created and the dams used the natural flow of the river to power the turbines. There were 4 dams within Baraboo. The Island Mill Dam was removed in 1972. The Oak Street Power Dam was removed in 2000, and the Waterworks Dam removed in 1998. Both of those two being owned by the city of Baraboo. The Linen Mill Dam was the last removed in 2001. The Baraboo is now free-flowing for its entire 120-mile journey to the Wisconsin River. Many organizations participated in the removal of the 4 dams on the Baraboo River. The city of Baraboo was the municipality that owned 2 of the dams and in which all 4 were located. There were nonprofits like the Sand County Foundation and the Brantley Fund of the Environment, federal agencies including the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, the River Alliance of Wisconsin, educational institutions including the University of Wisconsin and the UW-Madison Center for Limnology, UW-Stevens Point, and UW Extension. Also involved were Riverland Conservancy, Continental Mapping Consultants, International Crane Foundation, Ayers Associates, Wisconsin Power and Light Land Stewardship Trust, private landowners, and the owners of the 2 privately owned individual dams. In this video, we would first like to introduce Doug Hill, a lifelong resident of Baraboo. Doug is a member of the Baraboo Kiwanis, the Baraboo Chamber of Commerce, and the owner of Hill's Wiring.
And then that Tuesday noon, we got our little round tables, and we all had to come up with ideas. And my number one was, we got this ugly river running through town. Not this, we got a natural walkway through part of it already. Yeah. And people want to exercise. I see them walking down there in that brush and through the thing and then crossing the streets. And why don't we have I think we need a river walk. Yeah. By God, it was the number one idea. And everybody thought that was number one. So that's what we focused on. Mm-hmm. And from then on, I and a few others had the passion that you need. I need people with passion to make it happen. Yes. So then we went to the city, got their blessing, and of course then the DNR had to be involved because of the dams. They were already going to put pressure on the city to remove them. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the dates when they started doing that? Yeah. Before we actually did the river walk, I know that. Yeah. So they started. Yeah. So once that started, then we decided to do the river walk. Mm-hmm. Those go back to what, early 90s?
What's the question?
When it started removing the dams. Was it West Baraboo the first one?
There was 90s. Well, the West Baraboo one was in the 70s, late 70s.
Way back. That's what started that.
Yeah. And then the others, the first meeting was like in 96.
When the city was being pressured to either maintain or come down. Mm-hmm. And so then we decided, when the river walk
98, 99, and 2000.
And well, the DNR said, well, we'd love to be involved. So we set up I don't know how the heck we ever ended up with a 3-way partnership with the city, Kiwanis, and the DNR went thirds in funding this. Mm-hmm. So we kicked in some money, and then I realized right away Kiwanis wasn't rich. So I said, we'll do the sweat equity, and we'll keep record of our labor, and I don't care if it's minimum, you pick a minimum wage rate, mm-hmm. or whatever. But if I bring down machinery from Hill's Wiring, like a backhoe and mm-hmm. things like that, then we're going to charge a little more. Sure. Well, they agreed, city agreed, set up a deal just like they would with a private contractor, mm-hmm. and then we went about it.
So you provide.
I got a bill in here from Blooms, West Baraboo small business. Uh-huh. They're landscape contractors, mm-hmm. and of course, buddies, snowmobilers all our lives. Sure. $500 for bulldozing that whole trail through that first part of Akshay's part. $500. Should have been $5,000, but you get contributions from good local people up that hill, and this all helped. Yep. So before you long, in 1 year, we had phase 1, which was good mile, already done. Uh-huh. And then we pressured on to go through around 3 ovens, and down here, and here we are, all the way up to and including the bridge, which is a $400,000 project.
Okay.
But by then we come up with some more money and whatever, fundraisers, getting people involved.
Sure. And I assume somebody ended up writing some grants that helped?
Absolutely.
State and federal?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Grant writer. I think it's key for to get clubs involved, whether if Rotary is strong, the Lions, or Kiwanis in your area, get them involved. I mean, we'd be willing to, I know a couple of us from Baraboo would be willing to come up and share some of our archives and information with you if you had a group meeting. with a couple reps from any of those clubs.
Mhm.
And once you get the feeling up there that it's a good project, then okay, let's have an informational meeting and how do we go about it?
Sure.
And go,
I think that would be a great way to set a blueprint, start of a blueprint.
exactly.
Well, now there's programs available like the DNR's stewardship program in Knowles Nelson, and they have things for parkland development for municipalities.
Absolutely.
Is that a good help in this situation?
Yeah, your local conservation department
They can help.
office,
Yeah. Well, the
Any-
conservation
any,
needs
any,
for other
any
sources.
preservation type outfit around it. Yeah, this all protects the, conservation savvy as well as recreational.
Yeah. Fish and Wildlife Service, National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. We've got a river that's already a quality trout stream, but it's threatened by the warm water that comes out of these two impoundments.
Yeah.
So much that the summertime temperatures downstream are 5 degrees warmer, and we don't think we'll be able to keep a trout stream there unless we can clear out the dams and get rid of that thermal warming, the solar warming that comes from the impoundments.
How much of a drop do you have through that town?
Well, it's probably about 60 feet, something, maybe 80
And
feet.
that's short distance.
It's concentrated in an area that's about 1.75 miles, and there's one set of cataracts that's probably 60 feet. And then it's a gradual set of ledges going downstream below it.
Sounds like it'd be just wonderful.
The plan is to be able to come in and put in a number of new landing sites along both the upper impoundment when we take it out and the lower impoundment, so that kayakers have easier access. Right now, you got to go down a really steep bank in a city park.
These are all going to be part of the project.
Yeah, and you've got great landings in place. The one up by the Waterworks building, that step landing, that's really something. That could accommodate a lot of paddlers. Yeah, I'm curious about what, I understand that Baraboo started as Baraboo Rapids, and Rivers Falls, of course, had the falls
Rivers
dammed
Falls,
up
yeah.
before terribly long.
Yeah.
And one of the mottos of this project is put the falls back in River Falls.
There you go.
So,
Think of the neat T-shirt you could have done.
oh, we have a lithograph from the 1860s with the falls before it was scanned, and that ought to be all over on bumper stickers and T-shirts and everything. Yeah.
Just like here, we had pictures that we dug out of the Sauk County archives of the covered bridges on the river.
Oh,
That's what we really want to do down here, the city.
well, you're lucky to get the walking bridges.
Exactly.
But some river scientists refer to a bridge as just a dam with a hole in it.
Yeah.
And so when you have high water events, they're a lot more vulnerable. Most of the places that have covered bridges have not very much flooding possibility.
Right.
We can't say that in our neck of the woods
Oh, yeah.
in our time. But so the club picked this project from a number of choices, and it took the vision and the passion developed. It sounds like, and then you did the creation of it and the carrying out of it. How did that have an effect on your club? Did you have good support from club members and the community?
As far as I'm concerned, it's the best thing ever happened to Kiwanis.
Is it?
I don't know if I'd still be in today after 30-some years if we didn't get off our butts and do something good. And this is a project that got people up.
Yeah.
We got bankers, attorneys, you name it on there. I have an uncle who's 104 years old right now. Well, back then when we started this, he was in his 80s already. Down there, sleeves rolled up, brushing, carrying stuff, working. I mean, we got everybody up. We had gals in dresses that would go home after work quick at 5, put on their Levi's.
Tina, what do you see about the use of the river walk and the use of the river since you guys
More
have
and
done
more
this?
every day.
Yeah. And Is it locals? Is it visitors? Is it both?
I've been down on that walkway, our shop is right at the head of Chuckler Hills Wiring in West Baraboo. So at noon, or maybe at the end of the day, I'll take a mile walk down there and back.
Yeah.
That's for exercise. And I've talked to people from Madison, drive all the way up here because they want to walk the river walk. They'll walk ways in Madison. Yeah, but we like the river walk. We heard about this.
Madison doesn't have a river walk. You're right.
So,
Yeah,
you're gonna get that.
I see that. It's also easier once you've got something that you got in place and accomplished. It's an asset for the city, and you're not saying we're going to create an asset for the city out of that, and we don't have anything like it.
Yeah.
You can say we've already done this. This is an addition to it.
That's right.
And so what you did is you changed the vision of the whole city. And what I like is, I think it's a real attractive compliment to you that you have that kind of support from the business community to support further things to add to it, to make it an even more attractive recreational amenity. You know, dam removal discussions are seldom without debate. Or
We
without
had
dissent, you had plenty of ruckus, right?
Not in my dead body. There's been a dam there all my life. Yeah.
And
I remember that.
well, and to be able to come together once a decision has been made and make something really constructive for the city out of it. You guys shown us how. You know, it's kind of an opportunity for River Falls to travel a similar route. And you know, we were a lot earlier on the pathway. You know, there's a nice vision for generally what to do with the corridor and what kind of goals we want to have. I mean, you know, the river should have these recreational opportunities. We ought to encourage that for local people and visitors and businesses that rely on it. But you also have a recreational amenity for everybody. It's a much more beautiful corridor as a result of this work. And I think that's an opportunity in River Falls too. But you know, we haven't started the process to get civic organizations and local businesses involved in it. So that's why this is so valuable.
Is there anything else major going on around there right now? Would this be a good opportunity, you think, in the spring, to get over this COVID crap and all that stuff?
Well, we just drew down the lower dam. And
So things are getting started.
Things are getting started. And what happened was we had a big rainstorm there at the end of June, and it damaged the dam. And in order to see the extent of the damage, we got permission from the higher ups to draw it down. And the river has already started to dry out that sediment through the impoundment and to create its new channel. So you don't have to guess where the river would want to go. Oh, let me ask you, this is another question that I'm really curious about. Now you've got a lot of work, a lot of investment, a lot of years in this. But if another project came down the line, do you think your club would look at it and say, "No, we can't do that," or do you think they'd say, "Yeah, we did the Riverwalk"?
I think so, because the old guard, including me, are going to say, "Oh man, I'm tired of it." But we got younger, enthusiastic people in their 40s and 50s now, maybe even in their 30s.
Yep.
Join.
Yep.
Well, just the other day at our meeting, 2 out of the 4 new ones are already going to be on the board. It's like, yes, let's
They would be.
get these young people involved because they want to do stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wouldn't be afraid of tackling something else. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. If the people in town are going to benefit, like this, like a river walk, they're going to benefit kids, high school people, regular, average citizens, business people, tourists, elderly, handicapped. I mean, everybody can enjoy it.
Yep.
It's not just like, oh, we're going to build this building and only these people are going to benefit.
exactly.
Everybody's gonna benefit.